Hey guys, Justin here, the Bostonian Critic, right, and it is time to drink some secret stuff because it is time for me to talk about old Space Jam: A New Legacy. Out of all the movies I was looking forward to, I was looking forward to this one the most because I am a fan. And well, quickly to sum up, before I talk about all the Space Jam 2, I might as well talk about what I thought about the. I was gonna just talk about all my thoughts on the first Space Jam. I'm gonna just review this one as well, but I'm gonna review two of the Looney Tunes movies that came out on before this. So the first Space Jam movie, I do really love, like everybody else does. I definitely think it's one of my favorite childhood movies. But I probably would place it as a so bad it's good kind of like because but I would put it pretty low on the list because it's not entirely bad. The only thing that's bad about the film is actually the live action bit, and it's just laughably like silly or like laughably embarrassing a bit because of his awkward acting and too much wide angle shots and stuff in that movie. I mean, holy crap, all that. It's just so silly. But I get why people do really enjoy it though. Looney Tunes back in action. I know some people were pretty split on back in action. I don't care honestly. I love the shit out of that movie. I mean, I dare as far as go and say it's one of my favorite comedies. I think it's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, and it's probably the best Looney Tunes movie. And now we get Space Jam: A New Legacy, and oh boy, this movie's being panned so badly. And I'm not gonna lie, this may be just my opinion, but I really want everyone to at least respect what I'm about to say. I think Space Jam 2 is just as good as the first film, and and I like it. Like I said, I like it more than the first, and this is probably the most underrated movie I've ever seen. Period. But that's it. I'm not saying that this is like the greatest sequel. I'm not saying this is the greatest movie. I mean, for God's sakes, like, have you seen Roger Rabbit? That is still, to me, the greatest movie ever made. But for Space Jam: A New Legacy, I really feel like that this one actually improved its problems from the first film. I know the term is that broke, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I totally get that, but I just I'm just really confused on the criticisms of the movie. I will admit that there are some issues I have with it, but they're not major flaws or anything. But well, I guess technically a couple. but the first, oh yeah, the story of this one, well, it's not like your typical underdog story, which that one did, which the first one was a typical underdog story, but it was full of plot holes. That really don't make any sense. And some random characters that just keep popping up, and they just don't even appear. Like that small dirty chicken, one for the Love Taco, like corn cartoons. Uh, he was in one shot in the movie with the Looney Tunes, and then he's in the background in the audiences, which that's so ridiculously silly because it's just a repeat of all the other Looney Tunes characters and stuff. So, I gotta say, but this one I don't recall being ridiculous and having a lot of plot holes. Sorry, my hair's I have my hair on my face. Um, but it is a very cliched story about the father character being strict about one child on end because he wants his own child to follow in his footsteps. I've seen this before. Madagascar 2, Shark Tale, an episode of The Simpsons where Krusty the Clown wants to become the clown, but his father wouldn't allow him, all because he wants him to follow the footsteps to being a rabbi. I've seen this plot before. But to his credit, I will say that for later. But so basically, our bad guy at the picture, his son wants to be a video game designer, while LeBron wants him to be a basketball player. But they go to the Warner Brothers studio, and there's a bad guy at the picture, the new swag hammer of the picture, on the AIG Rhythm, played by Don Cheadle, aka War Machine. Which I think that's a pretty cool choice for him to be in this movie, like because he's a kick-ass actor. I really like him. Um, but he's the new swag hammer of the picture. But his motivation is that he wants to be recognized for his works. So his plan is to take LeBron and challenge him to a basketball game, and if he wins, he goes back out. He leaves with his son on his stuff. But if he loses, he gets trapped in the AI room, in the AI server. Well, the Warner Brothers serververse is just what they call in this movie, for the rest of his life. So, oh, so he needs to find on a team of characters in order to play the basketball team. So he sends it into the Toon World. Well, that's going on, and when he's in the Toon World, it's just Bugs Bunny. But then he just basically tells or was it LeBron James that all the other Looney Tunes characters are in different worlds because AI told them there's better worlds out there. So they just kind of abandoned poor Bugs. Look at that. So I guess they're basically backstabbers anyway in the show. So but that's going on. They're all a good chunk of the movie is them gathering all the groups from different worlds. We go to a couple of DC worlds, which are awesome. The Matrix, Austin Powers, or Game of Thrones. It's just crazy, but I friggin' and also what was that? Oh, Casablanca. I also forgot to mention. But keep in mind, this is going to be a total spoiler for your review. But that's really so cool, and I really think it's more imaginative than I thought. But then they do gather everybody else, and then when the game starts to go on, they're into the CG world, and basically AIG Rhythm kidnaps a bunch of people and sends them to the game, into the basketball game, and a whole bunch of other Warner Brothers properties. Boy, it's much like Ready Player One. There's like a bunch of corporate stuff in there, which I really like seeing all throughout the film and stuff. Or like we see Hanna-Barbera characters, or if we see Yakko, Wacko, and Dot on from Animaniacs, we see Scooby-Doo, and we see basically the Scooby-Doo gang from Scoob, which I actually do like. Like it's a movie I actually kind of like. Well, actually, I really like, but and we see like Kong from the Godzilla movies, and we see the Iron Giant, which is awesome. And then they're basically playing the basketball game, and they're fighting against the Goon Squad, and it's basically the son's creation from his game, which is really imaginative as well. And it kind of follows a little bit of the same footsteps as the first film, but I think it's done better here. And that's the thing about this film. I think what people don't really care about is that they just don't like how there's like too much. I think they feel like it's just too much corporation stuff in this film. Honestly, I think it's the Roger Rabbit in me that, since I'm a big fan of this, since this is my favorite movie of all time, this is the greatest movie in cinema history. Oh yeah, I just love seeing that, and they're just like in the world and stuff. I really like the idea. Well, okay, here's the thing. What do you call it? I really feel that this movie had more atmosphere, color, and imagination on the original film did, and it was really neat to see stuff like this all throughout the entire film. The animation was done by Spike Brandon, who also was his name Tony? What's his name? I can't remember. It's the same two dudes who did the Tom and Jerry direct-to-video movies and the Duck Dodgers cartoon, the new the Looney Tunes show years ago. I really feel that this is like their best animation period. They really nailed with the colors in this movie. It just pops in this movie. I mean, it is so beautiful to look at. The character animation is fantastic, on the 2D animated world, and there's a great chunk of the 2D animation in this movie. And once they go into the CG world, like when they turn into CG characters, they look great. And I have no problem believing that they exist whatsoever. what do you call it? I also really like the atmosphere is really heavy, and I really love movies that do that. And this, it's like they put a lot of passion into this movie, or like they really wanted something to be like a nice spectacle, and it really does was shine here. I really like the when the Looney Tunes are on screen, they are like the best part of the movie, and when the basketball game is great, I say that it's more fun. It's just as fun as the first one. On I want to say one of the scenes I really love, but I don't want to spoil everything, and I don't want to spoil the cameos that are in this movie. But I will admit that there are some things I don't care about. One would have to be LeBron James, but he's not a major problem. It's just that his acting in this film feels kind of dull, and plus his character doesn't really interest me personally. But it's not. But I'm not blaming on LeBron James himself. I think it was. Of course, I usually say it's the direction that he was given. But when he's a cartoon character, I'll admit that he does get a few he does get a few laughs every when he's like in the 2D animated world and stuff, and he can actually have some form of fun. So he's not to say he's unlikable or anything, but when he's in live action, it just feels bland. That's it. On I like it better than Michael Jordan, and on that's it. He does show some emotion, and I will say that it is what it is. But I'm sure LeBron James is a nice guy in real life. I'm not like really trying to bash on him, and if I do sound like it, I apologize. Totally apologize. Um, the other thing is that some of the acting is fine. It feels kind of awkward, just like the first film, but it's not as bad though. And it's not like there's like any wide angle close ups or anything. That's definitely fixed. Um, I don't know. I really feel that there was so much more effort put into it, and even though the story is very cliched, there was a good amount of heartfelt scenes in the movie, that I do feel are very genuine. So, um, I don't know. I can't help it. I personally really, really freaking love this movie. I place it as a tie with this and I will say Mitchell's versus the Machines. And you might be wondering how come I haven't reviewed it yet. Well, it's because this is the one I wanted to see the most, so I didn't know which one would be better, either this or Mitchell's. So I guess technically Mitchell's is the better movie because it had a much better story, which I will talk about that later. So I'll review that next, along with I forgot what other movie I saw. I did see No Sudden Move, also, and the new Tom and Jerry movie. So I gotta review those as well. So if you're looking for something that's really good and entertaining, I really say, or give it a chance. Even if you weren't a fan of the first one, or even are a fan, just give it a chance. But right now, I feel this is like the most underrated movie I've seen so far. Or I will say that technically, Raya and the Last Dragon, Luca are probably better in terms of story and characters, but this one felt like the most, probably like a little bit of the most fun I've seen all year.
Godzilla versus Kong. But I say this is probably a bit more fun than that movie. I mean, just a little bit, though. And that's it. That's all I gotta say. So, what did you think of the film? Comment below. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I am the Bostonian Critic, and I will see you later on. Take care.